Relationships are built between two people, but often the noise from the outside world can seep in and disrupt even the strongest bonds. Opinions, judgments, advice, whether from friends, family, social media, or society at large, can slowly chip away at the foundation of a loving relationship if boundaries aren't clearly established. It's easy to let others' words influence how we view our partners, our decisions, and our connection. But protecting your relationship from these outside opinions isn't just important, it's essential. Because your relationship is your safe space, your sanctuary. And no one outside of it should be allowed to dictate what happens inside. When we fall in love, we often feel the need to share everything. We tell our closest friends about our partner. We ask for advice when problems come up. We seek validation that we're doing the right thing, loving the right way, and making the right choices. That's natural. We're human, and we crave connection and support. But the truth is, not everyone has the wisdom, the maturity, or the pure intentions to give helpful advice. And even when their intentions are good, their perspectives may not align with your truth. They don't live in your relationship. They don't see the quiet moments, the private conversations, the nuances that define your love. So their opinion, however loud, should never outweigh the voice of you and your partner. There's a difference between seeking support and outsourcing your relationship decisions. When couples constantly involve others in their disagreements, when they run to friends or family after every fight, they invite external biases into something that's meant to be intimate. And over time, that can create resentment. Maybe your partner feels betrayed because you shared something personal with someone else. Maybe your friend starts forming a negative opinion about your partner because they only hear the bad moments. And even if you move past the issue with your partner, your friend might not. That's how distance, suspicion, and unnecessary tension are born. Setting boundaries isn't about shutting people out or being secretive. It's about prioritizing your relationship and protecting its emotional core. It's saying, this is between us. We'll work it out together. It's drawing a clear line between helpful input and intrusive interference. And it starts with communication. Not just with others, but with your partner. Talk about what kind of information should stay between the two of you. Agree on how to handle advice from family or friends. Be a united front so that when the world tries to poke holes in your connection, you stand firm together. This kind of unity isn't just about defense. It's about trust. Trust that your partner has your back. Trust that what happens between you stays sacred. Trust that love can thrive without a constant chorus of outside voices. This doesn't mean you should isolate yourselves or pretend you're always okay. There are moments when seeking guidance is healthy, like when you're in serious conflict and need a neutral perspective. In those times, turning to a trained professional like a therapist is far more constructive than involving someone who may be emotionally invested or biased. A therapist is trained to listen without judgment, to offer tools without taking sides. They provide clarity, not confusion. Social media is another huge influence on modern relationships. Couples now live parts of their lives online, sharing happy photos, date nights, vacations. But with that visibility comes vulnerability. Strangers and followers can offer unsolicited opinions. Some praise you, others criticize. Some compare your love to unrealistic standards. And if you're not careful, you start performing for likes instead of being real with each other. You begin to shape your relationship for the audience instead of nurturing it privately. This disconnect can grow silently until one day you realize you're more invested in what people think of your love than how your love actually feels. So, protect your love from digital noise. Set digital boundaries. You don't have to share everything. You don't owe the world an explanation for your decisions. Post when you want to, not because you feel pressured to prove your happiness. If someone comments something negative or tries to stir conflict, remember, it's not about you. It's about their own projections. You don't have to accept every opinion handed to you. Family can also be a tricky space to navigate. Parents, siblings, and extended relatives often mean well, but they come with their own expectations, values, and beliefs. They might think they know what's best for you. They might try to tell you how to handle disagreements or raise your kids or manage your finances. And while it's okay to listen respectfully, it's also okay to disagree and draw a firm line. This is your life, your love, your journey. And you don't need to explain or defend your relationship to anyone who isn't living it with you. Sometimes the hardest boundaries to set are with the people closest to us, but it's also the most necessary. If a friend or family member constantly criticizes your partner, dismisses your relationship, or tries to control your decisions, you have every right to say, "That's not your place." You don't have to choose between your partner and your loved ones, but you do have to prioritize peace and respect. Anyone who truly loves you should want to see you happy, not conflicted. And if they can't honor your relationship, then distance may be necessary until they can. Jealousy and insecurity can also drive people to offer misleading or toxic advice. A friend who is unhappy in their own relationship might discourage you from forgiving your partner or tell you that love isn't worth it. Someone who's never experienced a healthy relationship might label your compromise as weakness. These voices can be loud, and if you're in a vulnerable state, they can start to shape your mindset. That's why self-awareness is so crucial. Know your values. Know your love. Know your love. Know what works for you and stand by it. Couples that thrive are couples that prioritize their connection over public opinion. They don't make decisions based on what others will say. They make choices rooted in love, respect, and mutual understanding. They don't run to outsiders for validation. They build that validation within each other. When something goes wrong, they talk first to each other, not the group chat. They handle conflict in private. They celebrate in private. They celebrate in private, and they choose each other over and over again. Despite what you deserve a relationship that feels safe, grounded, and strong. You deserve a love that's guided by your values, not someone else's agenda. So protect that love. Shield it from gossip, from judgment, from the chaos of others' opinions. Build a space where your love can breathe and grow without interference. Be intentional. Be protective. Be honest with each other. Because in the end, your relationship isn't a community project. It's a personal commitment. Love flourishes in spaces where trust is honored, where privacy is respected, and where boundaries are clear. Don't let the world shape your relationship. Let your love shape itself, authentically, honestly, and without apology. Protect your relationship from outside opinions, not because you're hiding something, but but because you're honoring something sacred. Your love story is yours. Write it your way.